I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Make it seated. Item number 4 is our roll call. Ms. Burkhart. Here. Mr. Timmons. Mr. Berta.
Here.
Mr. Story.
Here.
Item number 5 is our approval minutes from our council meeting March. You had it in your packet. Is there any discussion or any comments? If not, do I have a motion to approve? Motion. Motion, Ms. Burkhart. I have a second by Mr. Berta. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Item number 6 is to hear from public comment. We've got Ms. Dana Chango, topic of farmers market project, and if you'd like to come forward. We've got.
Do I talk to you? Do I talk to them?
The whole group, as a group, if you want to.
Oh, I can
Yes,
push
yes.
the buzzer. Okay, I know I've got 3 minutes. So, well, I'm Dana Chango. Thanks for having me here tonight. But I just wanted to give you an update on where the market has, how far we have come so far, and where I want to go, and what I want to try to partner with the town of Dover for. But the market started in 2020. We started with 7 vendors, and then in 2021, I was able to officially get my nonprofit started, which is the War Garden and Farm Project, which the farmers market falls underneath it as an activity, and then my farm out in Indian Mound. This year, we're going to start offering equine therapy, horticulture therapy, and retreats for veterans. In 2022, in response to COVID, the nonprofit was able to get a grant for the farmers market for $20,000, which we used to be able to purchase the canopies that you see if you pass through on Saturday, all the canopies that are there, as well as fans, generators to plug those fans into, the trailer to haul everything, advertising, insurance, and so that was huge for us to be able to provide that for the vendors. So that happened when we got that grant at the end of 2022, then 2023 we had the vendors all set up on Friday evenings. It's been wonderful. And so last year, when we started with 7 vendors, last year we were up to 38 vendors, and full-time and part-time, as well as we were able to, and not all of them were there at the same time, but when we did have our grand opening, we saw 25 vendors the first week, and so we usually average about 18 vendors, and then 6 of them take up 2 spaces, so we usually average 24 spaces taken up. And so, and this year, what's going to be new, I'm excited that we're going to be able to take SNAP benefits, so we can encourage the community that gets the SNAP benefits to come and purchase from our local vendors so they can have healthier choices. So what's the future of the market, and why am I here today? The market is outgrowing its space. The parking lot behind the courthouse is roughly 187 feet long, roughly 60 feet across. So it's around 11,200 plus square feet. Well, we don't set up in the middle, but I'm running out of space for vendors, and I've already gotten 6 or 7 new ones for this year, including my past vendors. And so there's some grants that I can apply for. We're a part of the Pick Tennessee's product, so we're on the website as one of the farmers markets that's there. And through the Pick Tennessee conference, I met a lady from the Department of Agriculture for the state of Tennessee that's fixing to request a $150,000 grant for me so I can build a pavilion in the property that's next to the where we have the farmers market. So if you know the area, it's the property that's behind Taco John's that David Cheatham owns, and he's surveyed that for me for a corner, which is 3/5 of an acre, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but it would be a big square to where I could put a pavilion, and hopefully not just be an open air pavilion during the summer, but we could have it to where we have doors that come down so we can utilize it during the winter months. And so, but that $150,000 isn't going to cover it all. I've got some other smaller grants that I'm applying for through Toro, Kubota, as well as T-Mobile community grants for $50,000. But there's a rural development community facilities grant that I can apply for it as a nonprofit, but being a nonprofit, I need to partner with a local organization. And since that property there is in the town of Dover. What I want y'all to discuss later, but I would like the opportunity to be able to partner with you guys. I'm not asking for any money. I would never ask for any money from the town, but I need to be able to partner with somebody for that grant, and that particular grant would actually help me purchase the property. So, but I do thank you for your time to let me come today. I hope to see y'all at the farmer's market. We open up every year Memorial Day weekend because a lot of the vendors are out at Eagle Fest. And so my nonprofit's going to sponsor the concert again Friday night, so I hope to see you guys there. And thank you. Did I make my time? At least it didn't beep on me.
Thank you, Ms. Dana.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7 is reports from committees. The police chief report.
We'll see y'all.
Thank you. In the month of March 2024, the department responded to 82 calls for service, 144 violations and citations, 2 drug-related arrests, and 1 felony arrest for the month. We didn't have a lot of time in March to get training done, but we did end up on the previous Saturday, I think it was a week ago. Several of the guys came in on their own time for about 5 hours of scenario training and more active shooting training too. So they are keeping up with their skill sets there and improving what they've got, trying to get everybody prepared for something hopefully we never need. There's quite a bit more that Jonathan's going to share with you, more so on the fire side.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Captain Crocker?
All right, so for March, we had another 8 calls for service. That includes some mutual aid calls as well. Did have one mutual aid call close to home on General Lubner, an RV fire that was threatening the house. I want to thank Stewart County Fire Rescue. They immediately called us for assistance. I appreciate them. They had a good turnout. We had a good turnout. SCFR started an attack on the fire, and our first crews got on scene, and Chief Luckman had them do an initial search of the residence. Thank God nobody was in the residence. But when I got there, everything was taken care of. I want to thank them, especially the chief officers, for looking after our guys until I get there. So it's greatly appreciated. Speaking of that, I did get over an updated mutual aid agreement to them for their signature. Just kind of simplifies things. Does expand a couple of things too. But me and Chief Luckman have been working on that for a few months now, and that only helps both the county and the city for better protection, better response for those. So I want to again thank them. We did have a little bit busier start to April. We're already at 5 calls with accidents and medical aircraft standbys. I just want to remind everybody that we did have a couple of serious accidents, but thankfully the occupants were able to walk out of the vehicle without our assistance. So, but still, it's summer months. I just ask everybody to be mindful of the roadways. ISO prep continues with hydrant inspections. The water and public works guys are going to help me with that. I want to give them a shout out and thank them for assisting me. There's over 100 hydrants in the city. They know it better than I do because they're out there every day, so and they're more than willing to assist me on those. So I want to thank the public works and the water guys. Did have the storm. Going to hit on just some of the success of the department as well too. We had that severe weather that was supposed to come in last week, I believe. Was invited down to the EOC, EMA with Clint and Joe Campbell, and they had just kind of brainstorming and getting prepared. I was able to offer, a handful of volunteers, our police officers, and our public works, because it's a one department kind of thing when it comes to emergency response. So I did talk to Charles, and we were going to have a pretty good number of people to call on if we needed it. Thank God we didn't need anything, but I mean, even the public works guys are going to jump in there and help as well. So live burn coming up at the end of this month at Fort Campbell. I want to thank them for offering that to us. They're going to offer us the facility and the instructors. We'll be sending a few guys up there. That'll be probably the last thing they'll need to test for their firefighter 1. So, and then we've hit our recruitment goals. We got 4 new members already through the pipeline. 2 of them are already ready to go. They've already got their firefighter 1 or their state minimum requirements for firefighting. So they're already in the system. I got 2 more that are going to just finish up on some chief interviews, and then they'll be good to go as well. So we'll be adding 4 new members in the next month, so that'll greatly help us out. A couple of them are local, and they're available during the daytime hours, so that'll help us out as well. Speaking of grants, I put us on for another grant. Hopefully, we won't know anything until May to October timeframe. Know a little bit in May, but won't get a definitive answer until August, September, October. And that's just going to help us get some battery-powered extrication equipment, just some updated extrication equipment. Everything's kind of going to battery-powered now, so I had a friend with the state help me with that as well. So fingers crossed we'll get that as well. So that's all I got.
Well, go ahead and report on that.
Okay, you guys have heard me talk about the State Fire Marshal's Office grant. It was $39,760. You know, we got the letter of intent to award us. I think I brought that up at the last meeting, but it hit our account last week, I believe. So that's officially in our account. I went ahead and told our gear vendor to go ahead and I gave him the green light to order. So 8 sets of turnout gear with a couple of $1,000s left over. I'll send that to the state and for us to use on other items for approval, but that officially hit, so.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Captain.
Any follow-up on the tornado sirens?
No, not on those FEMA grants, the FEMA grants that I brought earlier, I'm just not sure as far as I'm not familiar with those, so I reached out to a friend at TEMA, and they're, you know, we had that weather event the other day, so I mean, that would have been an ample time, so I'm just waiting to hear back from that. But I've been in contact with Ashland City, their assistant fire chief, and as soon as we figure something out, like, that's about the same size as our town, give or take, you know, in their system, I think they had 2. I mean, they're willing to assist whenever we figure something out, so.
Item number 8 is to approve the resolution number 680-24 in the first reading. It's a resolution for the annexation by the owner's request to annex the property location 1596 Donaldson Parkway, the Stewart County tax map 085. It's the portion of the parcel 02.00D reference. That was actually approved by the planning committee. And now it's being brought to the council. Does anybody have any questions or any discussion? I think it's where Charles had read the letter. Like, it's right past the Dollar Tree, right? The prior property of David Wallace, David and Debbie Wallace there, where the front part, am I correct? And that, okay, I just want to make sure. The front part where the Bradford Pairs are. I think there's going to be 11 units. It's going to be subdivided in 11 units, yes, or 11, I think 1 acre lots, yes. So do I have a motion to approve it?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Story, to have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Burkhart. We'll have a roll call. Mr. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Burda?
Yes.
Ms. Burkhart? Yes. And myself, okay? And it passes. Item number 9, approve the ordinance number 483-24 in the first reading. It's the ordinance to apply zoning classification of C2 highway service to the newly annexed property located at 1596 Donaldson Parkway.
Motion.
I have a motion by Ms. Burkhart. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Burda. We'll have a roll call. Mr. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Burda?
Yes.
Ms. Burkhart? Yes. And myself. Okay. Item number 10 is to approve the resolution number 6924, the resolution to adopt the Stewart County National Hazard Mitigation Plan. Charles, would you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Plan, and the state asks for a review every year, and then they do a full review, updated plan every 5 years. So our mitigation plan basically is reduce or eliminate long-term risk to life and property from hazard events. They set out a plan for tornadoes and earthquakes, just any kind of hazard that they feel like could possibly come along, and this is set up with the town of Dover, on page 7 of the packet. think y'all have the organizations that's involved with this. It's a plan summarized to basically, with the captain, is put teams together to work in different emergency situations, to either save lives or property. And it's something we're required to do every 5 years from the state of Tennessee. So it's just an updated plan. I have a full plan for review. I think y'all have 7 or 8 pages of the, 7 pages. There's 60 pages of the plan. If y'all would like for me to run them off, I'd be glad to do so for y'all's review. And plus, it's on our webpage. You go in there and click and read it. If anybody wants to read that. The county's already adopted their part. This is our part, saying we're going to agree to work with the same plan.
Do we have any discussion, any questions? Do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Ms. Burkhart, and second, Mr. Burda. We'll have a roll call. Ms. Burkhart? Yes. Mr. Burda?
Yes.
Mr. Story?
Yes.
And myself. Okay. Item number 11 is to approve the ordinance number 484-24 on the first reading. The ordinance to amend the fiscal 2023-2024 annual budget, and the budget amendment to do to the fire grant received.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the one that our captain was just speaking about, and congratulations on that, because all this money helps our small area, so good job, Captain. But this money will come in, it's already been received, it's $39,760, and the expense, we're going to spend all of it, $39,760. So this showing a revenue grant and an expenditure line item grant, basically washing itself out.
Okay. Any questions, discussion? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Mr. Burda, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Ms. Burkhart. We'll have a roll call. Mr. Story?
Yes.
Mr. Burda?
Yes.
Ms. Burkhart? Yes. Myself. Okay. Item number 12 is communications from the mayor. Just have a real brief update on our park. The money has went for the audit review to the state. Things are moving forward. Hopefully, we'll have a contract by July 1, and then we'll submit our designs to the state, and hopefully, we're able from there to go with an engineer. Is that correct?
Yes,
After
ma'am.
that, okay.
Once the engineers
So-
are picked, we can pretty much put it out for bid to start the project.
I know I've had a lot of private messages and text messages about the park, the pickleball, so it has not fell to the wayside. It's a lot of
It's a long
red tape.
process.
Yeah, it's a lot of red tape when you go through the state, so hopefully it's coming sooner than everybody thinks.
So total money the city is gonna get on this project here will be $777,000. So we'll have some match money on that, but it'll put in all the projects that we had listed up front for the update the park and make a big improvement at the park for a lot of the family fun things. So it's coming, it just takes a little bit to get there.
I realize that, and I think Jane had mentioned she had gotten some past questions, so maybe this will answer everybody to know that it's in the making. Okay. Item number 13 is from the city manager.
I want to reiterate, of course, the park grant. We got communication today for the $313,000 GNRC grant for paving some roads here in town. So our trace pump station, our AMI meters money has been approved, so that'll start coming out for bid. Then our 2 lift stations and the clay line replacements back here, slip line, the sewer mains, that's been approved, so we'll be starting that process. The USDA, of course, we've been working on that for 2 years. It's finally come through. We're basically in the point of, I talked to Bassberry and Sims, or getting started with the closing documents on that. So we should, August, September, be able to put this out to bid and start some work at the sewer plant and at the city hall. So we have about 6 or 7 projects. It looks like it's going to be hitting all at the same time, which is good. Get some work done. But it's, like you said earlier, it's just a long, drawn-out process. That's all. I have.
Before I have a motion to adjourn, I want to thank Captain Crockle. That's great. We're excited. The chief, all the employees. Thank y'all today for stepping forward for the solar glasses, because I know that I think everybody was kind of in a panic mode about getting them. But we just got such a good team. It all came together so good, and I've heard a lot of compliments about how the town of Dover come through for so many people. We couldn't everybody, but you just don't realize the compliments that y'all get daily from all of us, to us about y'all. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. That's all. That's all I have. Do I have, anybody else have anything? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.